a personal plan, a routine plan about how to declutter your physical and your mental space. And after the session, after this is all over, if you feel that you would like to have a one-on-one personalized session with one of us so that we can help you set your routine straight, we are happy to do that as well. Okay. So Aditya, I think we can move on to the next slide.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So guys, the very first thing that is on your screen is something called morning rituals. Now, before I go ahead and share what's on my mind, would somebody like to tell me what's the first thing that they did today? What is the very first thing that you did today morning? Anybody? In case you're not comfortable unmuting and speaking up, you can also put it in the chat box and we will pick it up from there. I would like to go first. The very first thing that I did today was have a conversation with my roommate because he woke me up. Otherwise, the very first thing that I usually do is probably check my email and see if there is anything urgent that has come up. Anybody else who would like to tell me what they did today, just so we can get the ball going?
First
Aditya,
thing,
sorry,
yeah,
Aditya saying something.
yeah. First thing I probably did was just brushed my teeth. Just,
Mhm.
got my daily routine, brushed my teeth, took a bath, all that stuff.
Okay, so Aditya has a morning ritual in place. I also see that Ankit said use the phone. Very, very true. A lot of us do that, right? So what happens is when you begin your day, okay, when you begin your day with your phone from the word go, you're already cluttering your mind. You're already preparing yourself for a lot of clutter, right? Instead of that, if you start your day organized, if you start your day very mindfully, the clutter or the panic or all the tasks coming in together to you, that becomes a little bit sorted, right? Like with any other mental health technique, this also comes with a lot of ups and downs, meaning that not every day is going to be the same, but with practice this will also help you out. Okay, so morning ritual is something like this. As you begin your day, you mindfully note down your daily tasks in two categories: professional and personal. Make a list and tick them off as you go on during the day. What happens is when you do this, right, when you have a exhaustive list with timings from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., I'm going to do this, from 9 to 11, this is what I'm going to tackle, and then you tick it off, not only are you satisfied with what you're doing, it also gives an overall structure to your day as you go on. Okay. Along with that, along with this morning ritual, another thing that you can do is one, you can note down one thing that you look forward to doing that day, right? When you have something that you're looking forward to doing that day and you keep it somewhere visible, your day to day mundane tasks become a little more bearable, become a little more meaningful. For example, as any adult would look forward to, today evening, I'm looking forward to go grocery shopping with my roommate and friend. Right? So that is something that is the highlight of my day. This also reiterates the fact that you don't have to look forward to something very grand every day. Meaning that it doesn't have to be go out to a restaurant, it doesn't have to be go out and have fun, go bowling, go movies, nothing. Anything that makes you feel happy, that gives you purpose and a sense of feeling good, that is all that you need to do. Write it down on a piece of paper, put it somewhere where you can see, and ensure that you get it done. Okay. And another alternative to having a morning ritual is you make a checklist. Okay. Once you arrive at your desk, what are the things you want to do? Arrange my desk, make a to-do list, grab a drink, and start your day. Okay, so morning ritual is essentially something personalized that you do to give organization and structure. Now, since I've shared a lot of information on this, let us make a small to-do list for the next 1 hour. Okay, focus on in the next 1 or 2 hours what you want to get done personally, what you want to get done professionally. Okay, and at the end of it, let's all note down something that you're looking forward to getting done today, either in office or after you go home. Shall we take 1 minute to do that? Can I see thumbs ups?
Yep. Yes.
Okay. All right, guys, let's take a minute. Think about in the next 1 hour, what do you want to achieve? Okay. Maybe say in the next 2 hours, since we will be taking up a good 40 minutes in this hour, maybe say in the next 2 hours, what are two things you want to get done professionally? One thing you want to get done personally. Okay, could be anything. Could be taking off a call that you have been putting off for some time. Could be, making a to-do list for the next day if that's what you want to do, right? And also make a small note. Take a piece of paper, make a small note about something that you look forward to today. Okay, after this session gets over, something that you want to get done. What happens is when you tie up something meaningful to your morning ritual, the whole ritual becomes a little more attractive to you, gives you sort of motivation to get it done. Okay, all right. Can I see somebody's to do for the next 2 hours, or may I please see something that you're looking forward to? You can, of course, put it in the chat box. Please go ahead. Anybody else?
Can I go ahead?
Mhm.
Yeah, I think I would probably clear off my pending whatever work I have. That is one thing I'm looking for to, and also reading at least 2 pages of a book that I have
Mhm.
been stalling for since eternity, since last month or so. So I think these are the two main agendas I have for today.
Okay, right. So the moment you put these things on your mind, right? The moment you put these things down that this is what I want to do, it also helps you feel a lot less overwhelmed. Okay, so Abhilash says he is going to get a gym subscription and he is going to clean his desk. Okay, wonderful. Gym subscription is a personal reward, and I'm very happy that you have it in your day to day schedule. And when it comes to cleaning your desk, we actually have a couple of very, very nice activities where I think Vidhi is going to walk us through, right, about how to physically clear your desk. So I really hope that works for you. Girish says that today morning tasks need to close on or before 5 p.m. today. Understood. So all of you have certain things that you want to close before the end of the day, right? Supriya says update mom for review and study a new project for site visit tomorrow. Wonderful. I love how she has taken up both professional and a personal goal that she wants to achieve in the next couple of hours. Ishita says, getting my pending office tasks done and go out for a walk before sunset. Again, wonderful, right? One professional goal, one personal goal. If your goals, if your tasks seem too heavy to plan out for the entire day, you can also divide it. Say for the next 3 hours, these are my goals, right? Aditya says, getting my SIM card fixed. Okay, cool. So when you put all of these things in front of you, right, you're already organizing, you already start planning, and this makes your day a little less chaotic, right? So this is a very small start to your day, okay, but nevertheless very effective because you are compartmentalizing everything that is on your mind, right? You take things professionally, you take things personally, and you take one thing that you are looking forward to, which is sort of like a prize. Okay, so yes, this is all about morning rituals. Next slide, please, Aditya. Okay, physical decluttering. Please go ahead.
Okay, so I'll be talking about physical decluttering, and up until now, Shraddha beautifully explained how you inculcate and start your day with morning rituals. And I think Abhilash, if I'm not wrong, your main agenda was cleaning your desk. So I think this should do wonderful works for you. So, to start off with, before explaining what the physical act of decluttering is, I just want to know from any of your end whether unmute, you can unmute yourselves, you can also text on the chat box as well. So, when you see yours or your colleagues untidy or cluttered space, right, how does it make you feel? Overall, if you can let me know certain feelings that invokes, and you need not name any of your colleagues who have an untidy space. I do not want to cause any conflict or rift, just your feelings.
So Vedatri, I can say
Yeah, sure, Chitra, go ahead.
So maybe yeah, when I see anything dirty, may it be
Mhm.
anywhere, may it be home, may it like a bed sheet not done properly, or may the
Mhm.
vessels are not kept properly, or the desk is dirty, or whatever, I
Mhm.
just feel so irritated. I feel, what is this? If a person can't even manage this, then like I don't know.
I feel
Same,
stressed
Chitra,
out.
same. Completely. Yes, go ahead, Aditya.
I feel stressed out when I see like,
Mhm.
because like, uh, how is he keeping track of everything? It just feels chaotic.
Mhm. Right.
I think
Definitely.
I have a mental block where I'm not able to focus on anything else, and it's just so bad. I mean, I can't get my work done.
Definitely. So I think Shraddha, Aditya, Chitra, Aditi, all of them, one aspect I could find was the main cause was a mental block and stressed. You just feel like there's a complete mental block and you do not know what to do, right? It creates a complete block in your life. So basically, this is what physical decluttering combats, right? So as you can see in the presentation as well, this is called a four list method of decluttering. So a physical decluttering basically helps you ease out that burnout, ease out that stress that you might be facing, and it gives you a lot of techniques to manage that stress in your immediate workspace. All right, so we start with 5 minutes of your time. You can obviously simmer it down to, let's say, 3 minutes of your day. So once you're done with your morning rituals, you go to your workspace, you take away four sort of tiny sheets or sticky notes and label them into trash, giveaway, keep, or relocate. So, as the name suggests itself, right? Trash is something you throw away, giveaway is something that you do not want in your desk, but you can give it away to another person, right? Let's say a tiny planter or a pen that you are not using, you can just give it away to someone else. Keep is something you keep it at that same space as your desk as well. And relocate is something that you move around. So suppose if you have a pen stand in your right side, but you think that's creating a lot of block in your focus and your productivity, you just move it to the left side. So it's relocating in your place. So keeping a tab and keeping a label in your workspace and placing each item on these four helps you ease out that burnout, helps you ease out on your stress. Okay, so that is basically the four list activity and the four list method of physically decluttering. So since I mentioned about what the process is and what the step is, let's take a minute or two of our time and declutter our immediate workspace right now. I'll also join in, Shraddha will join in, all of us are going to do it and then we can discuss about it. Does that sound cool?
So, people, the
Yes.
prerequisite is, yeah, so the prerequisite is you must have four labels, okay? Trash, giveaway, keep, relocate. And as much as you can for the next 1 minute, keep away items in trash, giveaway, keep, and relocate.
And I've been clear with what trash is, give away, and keep and relocate. And it's okay to not have all the four labels right in place. Take it slow. You do not have to keep all the labels away. Just whatever you can in your immediate vicinity. All right.
Okay.
And then we can start over. Okay. So I am also doing it right now. And it's okay if you don't have a lot of things in your immediate vicinity. I know some of us are working from home, some of us are working from office. So we might not have each and everything in place. But whatever little you can take out here and there, that should work. Okay. All right. So we'll take another minute more and then we can sort of start in. All right. So I am done with keeping away and giving away and relocating and also just trashing out what I need. So if anyone else wants to go ahead first, you guys can. And then we can just see where it goes and how it made you feel. Aditya, you raised your hand. You can start. So what do you want to throw away completely and not see in your existence at all in your workspace? Let me know.
Yeah, am I audible right now?
Yeah, you're audible.
Yeah, so basically, like, there were a bunch of like boxes,
Mm-hmm.
like of product boxes that were just littered around on my table,
Okay.
which was like, it was there, but I never really paid attention to it. But now that like it's out of the way, it
Mm-hmm.
it feels a little more like, um, organized, structured. So my mind feels a little bit, like I know, like I can focus on my work. So yeah.
Right. Right, that's the point of it. And is there something you want to give away to someone? Maybe you don't want it in your desk, but you're okay with someone else having it. It also acts as a very positive culture and a very nice act of sharing as well.
I mean, there's not a lot of shareable items, I guess. I mean,
Okay,
just the bare minimum,
okay.
unless someone wants my mouse or boxes.
Okay. No worries, Aditya. I don't think anyone would want your mouse as of now, but okay, makes sense. Anyone else? Yeah, Shraddha, go ahead.
So in trash, I've thrown away a couple of, pieces that have fallen off my hair ties, right?
Okay.
Realized that they were all around me. But
Mm-hmm.
as I checked my surroundings, as I became aware of my surroundings, I realized that there's absolutely no place for them. And it
Right.
instantly feels better. Similarly, as I scanned my surrounding, I relocated a couple of pillows that I had brought, I don't know for what reason, to
Mm-hmm.
my desk. Okay, so I quickly kept them away. I had nothing to give away at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of keeping, I have just kept, my laptop, my pad, and my pen on my desk.
Amazing. I can already visualize that the workspace is slightly a bit lighter than
It is.
usual.
It is. It is
Right.
slightly lighter, and also because we're starting off with categorizing thing, and I think that's one of my most favorite forms of organization.
Love.
Categorizing things to keep and to give away. I think that also helps.
Same. Definitely understand. And Abhilash, you had something to say as well, right? Because you were really looking to cleaning your desk. So would you want to go ahead as well as to how you strategized and structured keeping in four of these tabs?
I have only trash at my desk. Okay, Kurkure, chips packet, wet wipes, my ex-girlfriend's photograph. So everything is trash.
Oh, okay, Abhilash. A lot of trash at
Yes.
your place.
Yeah.
Okay. I
I
can
love how this exercise has suddenly given people a lot of visibility.
Yeah, and I see a lot of trash overfilling it than giveaway or relocation, right? Amazing, Abhilash. I hope this sort of helps you in your, morning rituals that you kept, right? The to-do list that you want to do and you look forward. I hope this has something helped you. And since I was presenting, I also want to quickly say what I want to give away and what I want to keep it as trash. So I have all of them in hand. So I have a bunch of these papers that I definitely want to just throw it off. And giveaway is something I want to give away this little tiny planter that you can see right here. I don't know if it's visible to my dad, who's also working from home. And keep is something my diary, my mouse, my charger, all of it is something that I want to keep. And relocate is maybe shuffle and relocate certain of my books here and there. So that is about it. So that's basically the physical act of decluttering. And obviously, there are a lot of other ways of decluttering as well. But as basic as the four list method, you can start off with, depending on your time, 3 minutes to 5 minutes. All right. So now we'll move over to Shraddha again, I think. Yeah.
Yes. So continuing with, something that I mentioned right in the beginning about morning rituals, that when you're doing your to-do list, you can also divide your timings, right? About how much time to allocate for each task. Now, most scientific research, most psychological research has found that 25 minutes is the most effective period of time to be working in. Okay, our human concentration is at peak for periods of 20 to 25 minutes. After that, human concentration naturally falls, right? And then if you do decide to bring it back again, it comes up again. Now, what we do here is, if you want to organize your day, if you want to organize the next couple of hours, okay, according to the method of chunking, All you have to do is divide your tasks into 25-minute sections. Okay. For the next 25 minutes, not the next 25 minutes, after the session, right? Starting from say 5 p.m. to 5:25 p.m., focus 2 or 3 tasks that you want to get done if they're a smaller task. If it's a larger task, divide that task into smaller bits, and for the next 25 minutes, figure out what you want to achieve. In that time, in that 20 to 25 minutes, your attention, your concentration ability is going to peak, and then you take a quick 5-minute break, right? Why 5 minutes? Why not 10 minutes, or why not 15 minutes? Because 5 minutes is the ideal time for the brain to rest, for concentration to come back. And at the same time, it does not allow you to spiral into, you know, looking at maybe reels, going on Instagram, forgetting to come back and concentrate, etc. So 25 minutes of work, 5 minutes of downtime. And once you come back, take the first 2 minutes in the next segment to review what you have done. Okay, so far. So basically, you take your day and you divide it into time chunks. Now, let us assign time chunks, say till the time you log out. Okay, what would you like to do? Let's take 1 minute. Let's remain reasonably ambitious, meaning that instead of assigning, say, 4 or 5 tasks for the next 25 minutes, starting from 5 p.m. to 5:25 p.m., let's all schedule 2 tasks. I want to see all of you schedule 2 tasks, name them, and then come back and tell me what those are. What would be the right thing to do during the 5-minute break? Excellent question. So during the 5-minute break, right, it is something that we call taking a break with intention. And it is something that is going to come up right after this. What do you do in those 5 minutes? And the expert in that area is, I guess, Aditi, and she will be walking you through that. So just to give you a brief overview about what to do in that 5 minutes, you take a break with intention. And how it's different from taking a random break, Aditi will be the one explaining to you. Does that answer your question, Dania? Right. And also, I just want to reiterate here that it's a very good question. Like, what would be the right thing to do? Right? Because it's very easy to go on a spiral, to go on checking reels and not realizing that, instead of 5, you've just spent 15 minutes. Right? So that's a very, very important question, Dania. Thank you for asking. Okay. When you think about guys who are, noting down what to do, when you think about those 25 minutes, think about something that is doable, right? That will not ideally take you more than 20 minutes to complete. So that gives you a safe space of an additional 5 minutes. Okay. Is anybody ready with their chunk task? Would anybody like to contribute? Yes, Aditi, please go ahead.
So for me, I think I have to connect with a few clients, and I think that is giving me that 25 minutes thing.
Mhm.
I can get it done in 25 minutes. And I
Okay.
think that 5-minute break is very essential for me, where, once I connect with the clients, there's a lot that goes on. So that 5 minutes break is something where I would like to just make a note of everything and what my next actionables would look like.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
that's something that I would do.
Okay, very cool. Going along with Aditi said, I'd also like to share something. I have been using chunking since I discovered it as a student. Okay. So this is basically a very, basic technique that we use in general psychology. We learned about it in degree in UG college, and how I use chunking in my day-to-day activities. So as a psychologist and as a care manager, I usually have to make a lot of calls, right? It takes a lot of social energy to talk to so many people, to be in touch with so many people. So what I typically do is at the beginning of the hour, I assign the first 25 minutes for the calls, right? I finish calls, I take a break, I move on to the rest of my things. Yes, Aditya has raised a hand. Please share, Aditya.
Um, okay, I'm audible, right? Yeah. So
Yes.
this is not exactly a chunk thing. It's more about like I don't like to break flow of a task that I'm currently doing. Like let's say, because like I have like all the key pointers like at the moment in my head right then. So like I feel like because like so when that's why I usually can't just stop and take the break and just like I don't feel good until I'm done with the task is what I'm trying to say sometimes.
Understood. Understood. That's a very, very valid, question. That's a very, very valid feeling. Now, Aditya, just to understand, okay. So when you say that you are not able to take a break, I'm assuming that since you work that way, you work for extended periods of time.
uh
Correct?
yeah, you can say that.
Mhm.
If the task is like demanding a lot of time, sometimes I'll go overtime and get it done, but like yeah.
Right. So when that happens, when you consciously do not take a break, when you consciously, don't chunk your time, or when you go on working, one, it reduces your productivity because overworking yourself or working for extended periods of time without taking a break is going to affect your concentration, your ability to work fast, and ultimately your productivity. Okay. So if, however, you prefer not to take a break, okay, you prefer to get your work done, then what I would suggest is take huger or larger chunks. Okay, instead of say 25 minutes, take up at least 45 minutes. 45 minutes is also a little difficult for human concentration to stay in the same place, but you can go ahead with that. At the end of it, again, take a 5-minute break. It's just a 5-minute break. And if you feel, that you don't want to break the flow, instead of going on a break and doing something else, doing one of the activities we suggest, what you can do is in that 5-minute break you use it as a downtime to review what you have done in the first chunk. Okay, so as a result you're not actively working, you're not actively pushing yourself to do something new, but at the same time you're still in touch with whatever you have done so far. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe I'll try implementing it and see how it works.
Okay, okay, I'd be happy to hear feedback from you. All right, anybody else wants to share what they have put down in their chunk after this session? Okay, all right. I think we can move on to intentional breaks.
Okay, so hello everyone. I will be speaking about intentional breaks or breaks with intention. So, how do you do it? And what does it do? So, taking breaks during work really improves focus and also productivity by preventing any sort of burnout. So, it's just to prevent you to reach that burnout stage and also to maintain your overall mental well being. Now, intentional breaks are very different from random breaks. I think, like how Danya said, you know, how do you take it? Because what happens, we tend to scroll through reels and it just keeps going on for hours and hours, and we end up procrastinating our tasks. So, taking that break with intention is really important to have that productivity and efficiency in your work itself. And let's say that one effective way to enhance your productivity is to incorporating these short breaks in your routine. And some examples that I will be giving you here is engaging in activities like stretching. So maybe you don't have to even get up, you can just sit in your own space, stretching your legs, hands, just rotating your body itself will help us in a great way. And also trying out deep breathing. That's something that we'll be covering in the coming slides. So we'll also show you how you can practice deep breathing, and it could be also talking to a coworker, and it could be also reviewing the work that you have done. So let's say you were doing chunking, then the 5 minutes can be used to just review what you have done in those 25 minutes and how much of progress you have made in your work, right? And also brisk walking and just walking around your office space itself in case you don't get large amount of time to take away, then 5 minutes of walking around itself will make your mind much more clearer. And you can also use these breaks to reflect on your progress, reset your mind, and also engage in activities that would bring you joy. So maybe doodling or scribbling, or maybe doing something that you have fun with or you enjoy doing itself, right? So, if anybody has any doubts as to something that they usually do, but they feel like it's either a random break, or is it actually a break that they're taking with intention? Anything that you guys usually do when you take breaks, I would like to hear them. Anyone, what's your break with intention or random break that you take?
May I go ahead?
Yes.
I think when it comes out, right? Up until now, I think a lot of us would have, sat down. Ki a break is a break, right? I don't think any of us would have sat down. Ki there is an intentional break, there is a random break. But when you put it out there, the difference becomes very clear. Okay, the random breaks and the breaks with intention. I think what I have been doing so far, when it comes to a random break, I think it would be going and sort of annoying the person I live with, or sort of just going and taking up their time and space as well, saying ki, hello, I mean, entertain me, right? So that would be a random break for me. But if I go and tell you about an intentional break that I have taken anytime in the last week is, so day before yesterday, I was all alone at home and I decided to actually plan out my day. I had a huge day, so I planned it out. In fact, I have the list here where I said between 1 to 2 p.m. I'm not going to take any calls. I'm going to cook lunch, I'm going to eat it, and then I'm going to come back to work. I think that is the first, type of intentional break that I have taken. The break that I took with the intention of, one, not engaging with devices, two, not engaging with people, okay, three, and making sure that I cook and eat without any external disturbance. That is my intentional break.
That's actually great. Like when you said that, I cook for myself, and, that's also like a very healthy way to do. I mean, when you work from home, that's one of the healthier ways to even live, take care of yourself, at the same time, get your work done by ensuring the productivity and everything else is not being affected. So I think that's for someone, who already does work from home and doesn't know what exactly to do. So instead of scrolling, or, not doing anything, or maybe taking a power nap, I think that's another effective way that you can take care of yourself at the same time. Yes, Vidhatri.
Yeah, so one thing I noticed is my intentional and my random breaks matter a lot and align a lot with the environment I'm in. That is whether I'm working from office or whether I'm working from home. And even when I'm working from home, if I'm working alone and if I'm working with my parent being in the vicinity. So I feel like I take random breaks a lot more when I have a parent right there. I just randomly go to my dad's room and say, hi, what's up? Come back, or just roam around. But I feel like when I'm alone, I sort of take more intentional breaks than usual. That is actually allotting an hour for calls and then taking a 5 minute or 10 minute break, things like that. So I feel my intentional and random break are associated a lot with the environment I'm in. So again, with office, I feel like I sometimes do take a lot of random breaks than necessary, rather than taking intentional breaks. So that is also something I've noticed a lot after you've mentioned, what the difference between both are.
Right. I think, the environment plays a very important role, because if we know that, these are our surroundings, we just tend to give in to those random breaks that we take.
Mhm.
And taking intentional breaks can be hard when it is, when you have people around, or, things like that. But when you're alone, it's good to hear that you're still able to take intentional breaks. And yes, that's actually amazing. uh, yes, Aditya.
Yeah, so for talking about breaks, I usually like, when I complete a task, I kind of use the break as a reward for myself. So like, and usually it's just be like maybe a walk to go get chai or coffee or something. But like, yeah, like I look forward to doing that while I'm doing the task. So like, when it happens, like I feel like, yes, this task is done. It feels like it's the ending of the task. So it's like a full stop for me.
I think that's great. We actually have learned about that where, it's mostly like a reward system that you have set for yourself. And having chai is something that you really look forward to and does give you the pleasure, after that particular activity is done. So I think, that can be a break with intention that you're taking, and is something that you can also like unplug from whatever you were doing and just de-stress and again go back to work with a healthier mindset. So I think that is also great. Anyone else who would like to tell me a intentional break that they take, or maybe they would like to explore what are those intentional breaks that they would like to take? You could write it in the chat box, or anybody else who would like to speak.
You could also identify intentional breaks that you have taken in the past. Okay, breaks that you may not have realized were intentional, but if you remember something that you have taken that is not doom scrolling, that is not simply whiling away time, that you've done something for yourself, right, as a reward, as a break, you could put that in on the chat box. Yes, Girish has a question for you, Aditi.
Yes, Girish.
Yeah, my intentional break is that I call my son and I call my relatives sometimes. So
Right.
if I call my ex-colleagues and I'll think about weekend events, so something will motivate on that intentional break.
That's great, Girish. Just wanted to understand one thing. When you call your family, does it take more than 5 minutes, or are you able to set a particular time for it?
It's depend on my son is a 6 year old, so I
Okay.
cannot give it exact timeline. For my family or friends, maybe max to max 10, 5 to 10 minutes.
I think this is a very beautiful example of just balancing your work and life. And I think it could be an break with intention also, and at the same time managing your work life balance. So that's really great. And Girish, I think you should still do it, but not at the cost of the work being affected. So let's just make sure that the work is getting done, and these breaks are also turning out to be very useful for you.
And one
Yes.
more thing I have to add in this, sometime I can see my son videos which are school sent, so that will be it is very great. We cannot have a network disturbance in the videos.
Right. Right, I totally understand. And I think, you should spend more time with your son also, because I think that is something that gives you pleasure, and, that's something that you would like to, I mean, at the end of the day, look forward to, right? So I think that's definitely that you should do. I think we can move on to the next slide now.
Okay, thank you, Aditi. So Aditi talked to you about taking intentional breaks, right? Breaks that you take with the intention of feeling better. Now, what if you forget when to take a break, right? What if you get so caught up at work that you forget to take a break? And why these breaks are important? These breaks are important for your mental decluttering, right? Vidhi has spoken to you about how to physically declutter, but that does not mean a lot if your mind space is not clean and clear as well. That's why we talk about intentional breaks. Now, to help you remember to take a break, we are going to do something very similar, very small. Okay, now, what happens is when you take a break, okay, or suppose say you are building a new habit, okay, and you're depending on an external alarm to tell you, hey, now it's time to do the habit. For example, you decided that at 11 a.m., at 2 p.m., or at 5 p.m., I'm going to take 3 intentional breaks. What would you do? Any guesses? Right? The most common answer is maybe set an alarm. So that external alarm, that is not something that is already tied to you, and it's very very easy for us to take the phone, swipe it up, snooze the alarm, done, we forget about it. So instead of going with an external alarm to remind you that now it's time to do something, now it's time to take a break, we will focus on internal alarms. What are internal alarms? Internal alarms are nothing but already existing habits that you already have in place. You will take the new habit, tie it with the existing habit. Meaning, instead of saying at 2 p.m., I'm going to take a 5 minute intentional break, you say after lunch, I'm going to take a 5 minute intentional break. Because your lunch time is pretty much stable, right? Everybody has lunch between say 1 to 2 p.m., at the most 2:30, 3 p.m., right? So when you say that instead of assigning an alarm on the basis of time, when you assign an alarm on the basis of an existing habit, that every morning after I wake up, I am going to take 5 minutes to be mindful and do my to-do list. So your new habit becomes a part of your older habit. Waking up, brushing your tooth is your older habit. Mindfully doing your to-do list is your new habit. You tie them together, and as a result, you're able to commit the new habit to your alarm system more effectively. You're able to commit it to your memory system more effectively, right? So it could look like this: every morning after my tea, I'm going to make my mindful to-do list. Every afternoon after my lunch, I am going to take a 5 minute or a 5 to 10 minute mindful break. Okay, so when you do this, when you tie it with an existing alarm clock, it is less likely that you're going to forget it. Okay, so I want you guys to think about something. Say, let's say everybody present here decides to take a break with intention tomorrow. I want you all to tie it with an existing habit and tell me, when are you taking this break? Is it after lunch? Is it after your maybe daily stand up call? Is it after your end of the day meeting? When are you tying this up? Please take a minute, think about it, and let me know in the chat box. Would anybody like to share?
I think I'll go.
Mhm.
Uh, so I think a break with intention I would like to take somewhere in between after I had my lunch and before I leave and finish my work, because I think taking one break in between would really help with my productivity also.
Mhm.
And at the same time, it maybe not limit myself to just being inside the office. Maybe going out and getting that natural light or
Mhm.
something might really turn out to be helpful for me.
Okay, so you've tied it up very beautifully between two major stages, finishing your workday and right after lunch. Okay, wonderful. That sounds like something that you won't easily forget, right? Okay. So, guys, since we are running a little short on time, let's move on to the next thing that you can do for your physical and mental decluttering. I think it's one that both Aditi and Vidatri are going to walk you through. Okay, please go ahead.
Okay, so first we'll quickly finish the mindful drinks, and then we will, me and Aditi will take over the breathing and the body scanning part of it. All right. So when I say mindful drinks, it is basically moving your body in some way that, so it overlaps a lot with your intentional breaks, chunking, all of it, right? So you move out of your workspace. If you're sitting at your desk all day and you move out of your workspace and grab a drink, either walking, either sitting out of the workspace in an environment, all of it. All right. And if you're on your feet all day, if you have a job that entails you to be on your feet all day, right? So then you take a breather, step out of, let's say, 2 to 3 minutes, and sit somewhere and engage in mindful drinking. So what is mindful drinking? Basically, it is one of the mindful breaks that you take where you get out of your area and sip through any beverages, but this is mindfully. So we'll obviously practice that before, instead of boring you with a lot of steps and instruction. Let's do it on spot. Let's grab a drink, anything in your vicinity, and then we can practice that for about a minute max, and let's see how it goes. If does that work all right? Okay, so
Yes.
as you can see, I have a iced coffee in my hand, and I did not do this just for the session. I usually have coffee around this time, so this is not because of the session. So let's just sip in slowly, and see, I'm drinking my coffee as well. If you can take a minute of your time, grab something and sip in mindfully. It could be a juice, it could be a protein shake, it could be water, it could be tea, anything. Slightly, maybe not alcohol, but anything apart from that works. any non-alcoholic drink works. Okay, so notice the sensations as you're sipping through, how you feel. Notice the surrounding area in your vicinity. If you're working from home, notice your immediate, let's say your bed, your workspace. If you're working at office, notice the people around you. Notice all the sensations that you feel. If you're having something cold, notice the chillness that feels throughout your body, radiating towards it. If you're having something hot, notice the warmth that it's giving you throughout from head to toe. Notice the taste. If it's coffee, notice the bitterness. If it's tea or a sweeter drink, notice the sweetness of it. Sip in through the smell, and overall indulge in all the five sense organs that you have and notice how it makes you feel. All right. And as you're doing through, you can obviously put it in the chat box or unmute yourselves and tell me. Girish, yes, tell me.
I think
How
you forgot something in forgot in a night. So what is the we notice? As you said, you should not have alcohol, but in a night, I think we all boys have alcohol in night in the weekend.
then you I mean, at night when you are indulging in alcohol, you can definitely notice the sensation and the taste of the alcohol, how it makes you feel, how tipsy are you, how drunk are you getting, all of that as well.
The doctor will suggest for the, I think for children. So the same thing in a month, it's a better. I think it's not a habit. It's a month. I think it should be there.
Right. So when, regardless of what your age is, whether you're an adult or whether you're in children, right? So with a child, you can obviously inculcate them to have their fruit juices, any sort of healthier drinks. And when they are, let's say, coming from school, let them know how they can feel through the taste, how they can feel through the smell. This is obviously more linked to your workspace.
Guys, I think Vidhi's connection has dropped off. Just give her a minute. She is rejoining.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, Girish. I think I just lost my connection for a second. So, yeah, like I was mentioning, this is more associated with your workspace, but you can obviously inculcate this to your children as well, right? So, anyone else who wants to talk about Anshul, Danya, you've been quite some time. You can also pop in with how it made you feel if you were sipping any beverages.
I took a drink of water, Vidhi, and it was tepid water. Okay, so I am a fan of cold water. So I think while I was drinking the tepid water, it just sort of,
Mhm.
made me a little more aware that I have pending work. That's the sensation that came to me. But I
Right.
also think that was because it was a drink that I did not enjoy. I think if it was a drink I would have enjoyed. If it
Right.
was a cold drink of water, I think I would have felt a little better.
Right, definitely. I think the preference of how you take that mindful drink, and if it's a preference and a choice of your beverage, it obviously the sensation aligns a lot, right? So the whole point of a mindful drinking is to just step out from that area, gorge yourself in the sensations that you feel when you're drinking, and it's the most feasible way of taking a break as well at your workspace. You're just stepping out or stepping in and drinking something that is a obviously keeping you hydrated, B, that is giving you a sense of sensation with your tactile taste, etc. And also you're stepping out and decluttering from that workspace for a minute or two. So that was the whole purpose of a mindful drink. So That's about mindful drinking. Then we'll move forward to Aditi, who will give you a bit about 5 to 5 breathing.
Yes, thank you, Vidhi. So I'll just talk about before we move on to body scan, which is more elaborate. I'll just teach you a very simple method of a breathing exercise itself. It's called the 555 rule, right? So what is this? It's basically 5 minutes you take to just inhale, and five to hold, and five to just release, right? So this will just help you in incorporating, I mean, it's very simple to just put it in your day to day routine and even multiple times in between your day, right? So it'll help you in combating stress, and also to promote a sense of calmness within you, which will also improve your productivity, right? So you inhale and count till five, right? And then you hold that breath in for 5 seconds, and then you exhale slowly for 5 seconds. So this is something that we will incorporate while doing the body scan. So Vidhi will just explain us how we can go about body scan.
All right. So, speaking about body scan, it is basically something that you're mentally scanning from your toe to head or your head to toe. So, how does this help in decluttering? It helps in decluttering because you're bringing an awareness to every single part of your body. For example, if you have to visualize a scanner or a photocopier literally scanning your body from toe to head or head to toe. So that is basically body scan. And without further ado, we'll just quickly practice a bit of body scan, a quick 2 3 minutes. Obviously it takes much longer than that as you go about, but just to give you a bit brief as to how you can practice it at your desk or away from your desk, me and Aditya are going to give you some inputs on it. All right. So to start off with, so over the next several minutes, you'll be basically focusing on physical sensations throughout your body. Now, these sensations might be the feeling of your clothes or on your skin. It might be all the tension in your muscles, the temperature surrounding you or within you, all of it together. All right. So your job is simply to observe these sensations. You do not need to change how you're feeling or how your body feels. Just notice the sensation, observe it, and then sink it in. All right. So we'll start ahead. So first, to begin with it, sit back or lie down in a very comfortable position, whichever works for you. If sitting back works for you, sit back. If lying down works for you, lie down as well. Okay. Now close your eyes if you're comfortable doing so, or let your gaze soften a bit and take some breaths, few deep breaths. Inhale, exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Notice the feelings all throughout your feet, including your sole, heel, your toes. How does the sensation feel when your feet is touching in your ground, the shoes, and any other feelings that come in and go?
So
Keep
let's inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let's hold that breath. And when you're holding this, let's try to feel the sensations that you can. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now let's exhale. And while exhaling, let's notice and release that tension from the muscles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So, as you're noticing it, as you're noticing all your feelings, if you feel you're running out of focus or going out of your tension areas, mentally count yourself and bring back yourself to the same position of your body that you were scanning. Now, as you travel up your body, keep noticing the sensations from your legs to your thighs to your knees. Notice how your clothes feel against your skin, the texture, how it is brushing up in your thighs or your knees, all of it. And then again, you keep exhaling and inhaling your breath in the count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, as you go up and up in your body, you notice the lower back, the upper back, the abdomen, and the hips. Notice how the texture of the place that you're sitting in or lying down feels against your hips, against your upper back and your abdomen, the surface, the texture, all of it. And notice the feelings that you're going through at this point. It is okay if you have any sort of negative feelings at this point, or if you're losing out of focus. Simply bring back yourself into the same focus and brush the negative feelings without changing or forming any judgment at that time. All your job is to observe them and keep those feeling intact.
And as in when you are doing this, just make sure to follow the 555 rule. And it's just inhaling. When you inhale, try to feel them. And when you're holding that breath, you're supposed to make sure that you're in control of those sensations. And when you exhale, you're just releasing them out of your body.
Now, once the upper back and chest is done, keep inhaling and exhaling and notice your hands, arms, shoulders. As you keep going through, notice the tension, the pain, the ache that comes in with your neck and throat, because there's a lot of tension areas and tension muscles around that area, specifically your shoulders, your neck, and throat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So slowly we'll be ending the body scan, where you end it with feeling that is going on through your head and your face. Attend to every feature in your face one by one, the curves of your nose, how it feels in your ear, what sounds you're inculcating, and slowly scan your entire body, noticing all the sensations from the top to the bottom or from the bottom to the top.
And
1,
also, if you feel like when you're on the face, there's not much to do or there's no tension, you can also try to blink or, make certain gestures with your mouth, which will help you in identifying if there's anything that you can feel within your facial muscles.
So, as the body scan exercise is coming to this close, when you've noticed all the sensations from the bottom to the top, breathing in and breathing out with the count of 5, at your own pace, allow your eyes to open. And this is basically the end of a body scan. So obviously it's a pretty elongated step, but it takes about 5 minutes. You can obviously change it, change the timing, skip some here and there, but this is essentially body scan. It makes you feel grounded at present and makes you feel and get that awareness of yourself. So that was the little body scan and breathing exercises. And I know we're running a bit short of the time, so we're going to move into Aditi. But if you have any more doubts and anything regarding body scan, you can always reach out to Shraddha, me, or Aditi. That works. Okay.
Thank you, Vidhi.
Okay, I'll just quickly run everyone through how you can organize your tasks in day to day, right? So we'll just follow something which will help you in making sure that you're not wasting away time. And once you get to work, you can organize your tasks accordingly, right? This will ensure in focusing on high impact work and also your productivity and also reducing the stress that you might face because of a lot of tasks at your hand, right? So this is just a tool and it's called Eisenhower matrix. Here we basically decide what are the tasks and in which buckets you can put them based on their urgency and importance. So we have four buckets here. The first one is urgent, the second is important, then we have less important and non-urgent. So I'll just tell you what task goes where so that we can quickly jump into it. So urgent is nothing but high priority task, something that you start your day and you have to take it up, right? First thing in the morning. So those will go in your urgent tasks. And then important tasks are nothing but things that you have to get done by EOD, let's say, and maybe you have a meeting on it, or something that you need to submit, right? Less important are tasks which maybe you can push them over to the next day, right? And non urgent are tasks which is something that are your ideas or something that has been discussed already, and maybe you can do it as in when you get the time to do them and incorporate them in between your schedules, right? So I think we can quickly just grab a sheet or something and uh, try to just put your tasks for the next day into these buckets. So tomorrow, whatever task that you have and you feel like, even though it's a chill day, I'm assuming there should be less tasks. So maybe just take up tomorrow's tasks and try to put them into these four buckets and see if it gives you any sort of clarity, or if it could even impact some part of your productivity itself. So I think all of us can just take 1 minute to just recollect the tasks that we have for tomorrow, and what are the tasks that goes into these buckets, and if it helps us in being more organized or giving us more clarity into how the day would look like, or how what is something that you have to take up first, and then something that you can take up later, and also gives a better structure to your day. Anyone who does not have office on Saturdays, uh you can always take up the Monday tasks, and yeah, we can maybe try to arrange those into these buckets. Yes, once anyone is done with it, or is able to do it, can unmute themselves, or if there are tasks that you find are not fitting into any buckets, you can obviously unmute yourself or put it in the chat box, and we can see where those tasks can go as well.
So for me, Aditi, I think, urgent me, there are tasks, there are calls that I was supposed to do yesterday, but I didn't do.
Right.
Those are the calls that I'm going to pick up first thing tomorrow, even though it's an off day. That is my urgent pool to be done before 10 a.m. at any cost. Important would be finding a house, as you already know the struggle I'm undergoing, right?
Right.
Less important would be, I think, a couple of ideas of change that I have for my wardrobe, for this and that. And non urgent, may I have to apply for my passport. Non
Okay.
urgent, but I definitely want to get it done this month.
Right. So I think that's pretty systematic. I feel like, the next 1 week looks pretty good to you, and you're like, okay, this is something that I would like to take up first, and, this is important at the same time. And also, you have something which is already there in the back of your head, but never got the chance to go for it because of the other important tasks. So I think that's great. And anyone who has any tasks which maybe does not fit into the bucket, or is everyone finding it okay to put them in the buckets? Yes, Girish, are you finding it okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
Girish, I think I wasn't able to hear you.
Yeah, it's pretty quite good. So good to see. But apart from this bucket, we will making. I think in officially coming to that, we will make some other more like pending work, or
Right.
specifically important audio
Yes.
sent important, and we can make like this any whatever they comfortable they can use and rename on this buckets. So that is not a quite good, and it's really good that what you are seeing. But we already doing this task in every day. And coming
Right.
to the same family, coming to the personally, yes, we have to do the same thing. But sometime because of the busy schedule, we don't have personal life. We haven't put it in any other bucket. But still, the personal life already shared in the mind. But anyway, we have to share both. We have to balance as a person as well as official. Yeah, that's right. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Girish. It looks like, you're trying to also balance your life by organizing your tasks in this way. And it's really great to see that you're able to do it. And even if there's something pending, you're able to put them into these buckets. Yes, Aditya.
I guess putting it into even more broader buckets, there are
Mhm.
tasks that I have to do and tasks I want to do. So
Okay.
like that could be like something to like, and have to do will have the same like bifurcation, urgent, important, and want to do also maybe can have the same. So that's what I was thinking. Like that's yeah.
Right. So I'm not sure what the want and need have under them, but I'm pretty sure you can still try to make a bifurcation under urgent, also personal, professional, and how you would like to structure them. It depends on, I mean, like we saw in the earlier slides, also how we can chunk things and take up different attitudes towards our task itself, and then put them under these buckets. I think it would still work out. Otherwise, you always have us. You can still come to us and we'll guide you on it. Uh, yes, I'll just take up what's on the chat. Vidhi says that urgent, creating a research proposal, important, getting calls done, less important, chores non urgent, and getting my references checked for the proposal. Okay, I feel like the proposal has been a long due task. So I see that all the four buckets have bits and parts of research. I hope you're able to get them done. But I think that at least you have the order set. So yeah, I think we're good to go. Anyone else who has anything else to say? Otherwise, we can move forward. I
Hi.
think, yeah. Yes, Abhilash.
So for me, my all the four categories comes for the last day. Like if I have 3 days bandwidth, then I'll tend to do everything on the last day itself. Even
Okay.
though I don't care about in which category it falls, for some reason this is a bad thing, and I've noticed it. So probably I'll
Yeah.
start organizing my task and probably start scheduling it. But
Yes.
God knows.
Okay, Abhilash. I see that there's some procrastination that's going on depending on the time that you have. I think that's something that we can also take up one to one and discuss how you can incorporate these things more effectively and also reduce your procrastination a bit and make sure that you are getting your tasks done for the day in the same day itself.
That will be good.
Great, Avilash. I think we'll get in touch soon then. Thank you so much for saying that and sharing your experience with us.
Thank you, Aditi. Thank you so much. Moving on, Aditya. So basically, what we're taking away, and we hope that you're able to take away as well, is that decluttering is both your physical space and your mental space, right? The more physically and mentally organized you are, the more productive you are. And decluttering not only helps you stay productive, it also helps you manage your day-to-day stress, and keeps you happier and healthier, right? And from our end, we have a small routine plan that we are going to email to everybody who has attended the session, along with the PPT, so that you can go back, look it up for reference. This small routine plan is divided into what things you can do in the morning, things you can do in the working hours, midday routine, evening routine, and post work routine. Okay, and all the suggestions inside are things that we have covered here today. We hope that you're able to download it, stick it somewhere where you can see. Feel free to share with friends, colleagues, children, okay, etc., etc. And we hope that, if you have any doubts at all, and if you would like to have a personalized session with either one of us, where we sit down, look at your routine, help you put alarms, help you put breaks, help you organize, etc., we would also be very happy to do that for you. Okay, and overall, the three of us hope that this session has been helpful to you. And if there's anything at all, you can let us know and you can reach out to us at any time. Anything that you'd like to share, Vidhi, Aditi?
I think it's been a wonderful experience in doing this workshop, and I hope that we have been able to help you out even a little bit. That would mean a lot to us. And like Shraddha also said, we are happy to help you, and thank you so much for participating and having fun.
Yeah, the same things
Thank
basically that Aditi
you.
and Shraddha said. Thank you, Girish, Vilash, everyone, whoever were there and whoever were very forthcoming in the chats and unmuting themselves, sharing their habits, their routine, their ways of decluttering. I think it was pretty knowledgeable from both ends as well. And I hope we helped you in any way that we could. And as Shraddha as well mentioned, you can always reach out to us one-on-one to get a more in-depth knowledge and
A
habits
routine plan.
decluttering. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that is about it.
Okay.
Thank you,
Yeah,
guys.
Nidhi, yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much very much.
Thank you. Thank you
Happy
for
weekend.
staying on, Girish.
You can
Happy
say for
weekend.
like on behalf of everyone that we have something to take away from this entire session. And I can actively see myself using this in my day-to-day life from now on. So like it was really great. You guys are so interactive, so cheerful. Thank you so much. I it was a great session.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, happy weekend. Thank you so
Please
much.
take care. Have a good day.
Please take
Weekend.
care.
Take care, everyone.